Put them down. I'll pay whatever it takes, the rancher said. My girls need their mother. The marshal froze, hand hovering near the iron bars of the holding cell. The woman inside, dust-covered, bruised, trembling, lifted her head at those words as if she'd been struck in the heart. And just like that, the quiet morning in Red Elk Ridge turned into a storm. The story. The frontier sun had barely climbed over the mesas when rancher Eli Carson burst through the sheriff's office door, boots slamming against the floorboards like thunder. Folks in Red Elk Ridge didn't see him lose his temper often. He was steady as the land he ran cattle on. But today fire burned in his eyes. "Sheriff," he said, voice cutting through the room. "Put them down. I'll pay whatever it takes. Just let her go. My girls need their mother." In the cell behind the sheriff sat Clara Carson, dress torn, hair tangled from travel, wrists raw from rope. She had disappeared without a trace 2 months earlier. Some whispered she'd run off. Others said she'd been taken. Eli knew only one truth. Every night his daughters cried for her, and every night he swore he'd bring her home. Now she was finally here, but shackled, guarded, accused. The sheriff sighed, rubbing a tired hand over his thinning hair. "Eli, she came across the border with the Red Knife Gang. We caught her with them, guns drawn, saddlebags heavy with stolen silver. I can't just. You think she rode with them willingly?" Eli stepped closer, voice trembling with fury and fear. "Look at her. Really look at her." Clara didn't speak. She just held her husband's gaze, eyes full of love, shame, and 1,000 silent apologies. The nightmare she lived. Weeks earlier, Clara had been taken while gathering herbs near the riverbank. The Red Knife Gang needed a healer, someone to patch bullet wounds in fevered men. They promised to hurt her daughters if she resisted. So she did what any mother would do. She survived. She obeyed. She stitched wounds with shaking hands, swallowed pride, and waited for her chance. But to the sheriff, facts were simple. She'd been found with the gang. In the law's eyes, that made her guilty. Clara's voice cracked. "Eli, I tried to escape 3 times. They kept me tied to one of their riders. If I ran, they swore they'd ride for our ranch and hurt the girls. Her voice broke. I never stopped trying to come home." Her words weren't loud, but they carried the weight of a mother's fight. The truth begins to surface. The sheriff leaned forward, troubled. "Even if she was forced, the court won't take her word for it." "Then take mine," Eli said. He placed a leather pouch on the desk. The sheriff loosened the cord, and gasped. Gold. More than a year's earnings. More than anyone in the county had ever seen from the Carson Ranch. Eli had saved it piece by piece for land expansion, for his girls' futures, but none of it mattered compared to the woman behind those bars. "I'm not buying her freedom," Eli said quietly. "I'm buying time. Time for the truth to come out." The sheriff hesitated, then took the keys, not because of the gold, but because he finally believed. Chains clattered to the floor as Clara stepped forward. Eli wrapped her in his arms, letting out the breath he'd been holding for months. But relief lasted only a moment. A deputy burst through the door. "Sheriff, Red Knife Gang, 3 riders, headed this way fast." Clara went pale. "They've come for me." The stand at Red Elk Ridge. The town erupted. Women pulled children indoors. Shopkeepers slammed doors shut. Dust spiraled up from the distant horizon as 3 silhouettes thundered toward the sheriff's office. The gang wanted their healer back. And they wanted revenge. Eli stood in front of Clara, rifle steady though his hands trembled. "You're not touching her again." Clara clutched his sleeve. "Don't. They'll kill you. And if they take you," he whispered, "my girls lose their mother forever. I won't let that happen." The sheriff and 2 deputies took positions beside him. For the first time in months, Clara felt the solid weight of safety, but fear still crawled under her skin. Hooves pounded closer. The gang leader, Hawkeye Jed, reined in his horse with a vicious grin. "Woman belongs to us," he called out. "Hand her over and we'll leave your town standing." Eli stepped forward. "She was never yours." Jed cocked his pistol. "Shame. I liked her spirit. Now I'll have to break it in front of you." That was all Eli needed. The first shot cracked through the air. The fight was short but brutal. The deputies held the line, Eli firing steadily beside them. Clara ducked behind the trough, heart pounding as bullets splintered wood. When the dust cleared, Jed lay on the ground groaning, his gang scattered or dead. Red Elk Ridge was safe. Clara was free. The road back to home. Eli helped her onto a horse, his hands gentle against the bruises he longed to erase. The ride to the ranch was quiet, heavy with emotion neither knew how to voice. When they reached the front porch, two little girls ran out, barefoot, ribbons flying, tears streaming. "Mama!" Clara sank to her knees as they threw themselves into her arms. She held them so tightly it seemed she feared they might vanish if she let go. Eli stood a few feet away, letting them have their moment, eyes stinging despite himself. Clara looked up at him, voice barely a whisper. "You saved me." He shook his head. "You saved yourself. I just brought you home." Healing the scars. The weeks that followed weren't easy. Clara woke from nightmares screaming. The girls clung to her constantly. Eli worked sunrise to sundown trying to keep everything steady, meals cooked, cattle tended, fears soothed. Some nights, he and Clara talked until dawn. Some nights, they simply held each other and cried. But slowly, laughter returned to the ranch. Clara's hands, once shaking, grew steady again as she cooked, tended herbs, and taught the girls their morning lessons. Eli found peace in her smile. The girls regained their childhood, running free through the pastures once more. The town rallied behind them too, bringing food, clothing, warm words. Red Elk Ridge wasn't just a place. It was a family. The trial that changed everything. When Clara finally stood before the judge, she did not stand alone. Eli, the sheriff, the deputies, and half the town filled the courtroom. Evidence was presented. Witnesses testified. Even Jed, recovering in chains, snarled the truth. "We took her. She never wanted to ride with us." The judge slammed his gavel. "Clara Carson, you are cleared of all charges." Eli closed his eyes, tears finally falling. Clara didn't just walk out of that courthouse. She walked into her new life. Stronger, braver, unbreakable. The message that lasts. People across the frontier still tell the story of the rancher who walked into a sheriff's office and said, "Put them down. I'll pay whatever it takes. My girls need their mother." But the real heart of the tale isn't the gold or the gunfight. It's the truth every family on the frontier understood. Love is the only thing worth fighting for. Worth risking for. Worth everything. And when the storms of the world rise up to tear a family apart, the ones who stand together, no matter how broken, are the ones who survive. If you'd like, I can expand this into a full 55-minute YouTube script, add narrator cues, scene transitions, music notes, or turn it into a multi-chapter Wild West saga.